All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. Shalom, shalom, and shalom, Sister Deborah, prophetess in the wilderness. And you know what? That's all right with me. Coming again on this devil platform with another message. And I will say this is a lovely evening in which the Most High, a higher, has made. And I, Sister Deborah, shall and I will rest therein. I'm just coming with a little something, something. And it's really for that one that's out there that can handle the messages in a way that is in the spirit realm. This message is for you. I want to cover something today. Earlier, I woke up this morning and I had so many things coming across me in the spirit realm, and it was the spirit of the Father. He was saying so many things to me, and I'm going to cover some of those things. But I was just thinking, the main thing he said to me that I made sure I wrote it down is life isn't black and white. Life isn't black or white. Uh, I think that what has happened in 6,000 years is mm, 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 mm. people never, ever found life. Even when Adam and Eve, it was said to Adam that, look, here it is, the tree of life and the tree of knowledge and good and evil. Not just Adam, but many took of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And the tree of life, it sat there like it resides today. And the Father says, very few, Deborah, shall find therein. They're not going to find life. I noticed that it's something you have to find. But I am 1,000,000% sure that there are those that the Father have assigned to find the tree of life. And yes, it's in the presence of a narrow gate. So what he said to me this morning, he said, Deborah, life is not black and white. And guess what, you guys? Really, it's not. We set that up, and we have set it up within ourselves here. We have made it our wisdom, our knowledge, and our understanding. But we set it up in our emotions and in our feelings and in our personal opinion. When life had no color, it had no black, and it had no white. Life is the breath that was given, that breathed into us an image of the Father. The image of the Father is not of white and black. It is the light, but not of white and black. It's a sad thing, but the Father told me today, don't you cry. He said, don't you cry. He said that to me today, and I was like, I was just so emotional. I was feeling so many different emotions. everything he was revealing to me, it made me want to really cry out to the fact that the people are so far from what is righteous, what is spirit and truth. You remember I used to say they have gone too far out in the ocean. They can't see dry land. And this is what he kept saying. He said, but Deborah, when I wanted it to be known that my people shall perish, and they still don't grip it. They're not going to, Deborah. And I don't want you shedding a tear. I know that you're a female, and females, he knows he created me, so he knows that there come along with some emotions. But what he's saying is, keep yourself in the lane where it's spirit and truth, and you won't get so emotional. No, as I speak to you. And the reason why I'm getting so emotional is because I'm starting to feel that thing. And I always felt that thing. But the things that he's continued to reveal to me, in a sense, like putting icing on the cake, it's like, but Father, they don't know that. They don't. It's not meant for you to know. It's not the will of the Father that it is embedded or manifested in you. You see? So when he was telling me life isn't black and white, he wanted me to look at the nationality. It's not any nationality. It's not the nation. Just because y'all decided to eat from the tree of knowledge and good and evil, that's on you. You ate from it. And you still today, year 2023, going into 24, eating from the tree of knowledge and good and evil because you feel more comfortable eating from that tree than the tree of life. As I went on into Genesis chapter 4, I remember understanding that he even put a burning, flaming torch so that he that is lost may find the tree of life. So that same torch, that same light that's burning, is still burning today. It's since Genesis chapter 4. That lamp, that light, that flaming torch is still burning for those that are lost, so that they may find their way through the narrow gate to life. That's why it's important to always stress just that one. Because people are very content being in that multitude. They will not give up that multitude for nothing. For nothing. And I don't blame them. I can't blame people to give up their multitude. They enjoy the multitude because that's what their flesh is more comfortable with, where everyone else is going, how everyone else is feeling, what everyone else is saying, what everyone else is believing, whatever everyone else is doing. And they get so comfortable with that. It ain't that they get so comfortable with it. It's comfortable with them. And they just flip it and be comfortable with it. And there their life is. Okay? So him saying to me, life isn't a black and white. And he covered a lot of things surrounding that. Let me tell you why he said that, you guys. Okay? I've spoken too many times about what took place before the foundation of the world. And to understand what took place before the foundation of the world, I mean to where you really, 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 really understand it in righteousness, when you really, 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 really understand it in spirit and truth, when you really, 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 really understand it in the light, when you really, 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 really understand it in belief. guess what? You're on your way through the narrow gate. But too many people, 99 point, let's say 10 billion, still don't know what took place before the foundation of the world. Because then, if the Father took out that time and felt that heaven wanted to make sure you had the keys to the kingdom and that you can actually open the door to walk in, then he would have given you what took place before the foundation of the world. You hear this prophet speaking to you, it don't mean nothing. It's when Yah give it unto you. And that means every time you wake up, when you go to bed, it's much being revealed to you to keep you moving in that narrow gate to find that way to life. So that was a part of him sharing with me as a child what took place before the foundation of the world. So I won't be in the year 2023 believing every clown on YouTube, every clown on Facebook, and what they say and they believing in a teaching. I'm not moved by it. I don't feel that thing. I don't feel what they saying and what they doing. Because that's not the lane I am to remain in. So that lead me to understand they out of the separate lane that I run in. You see? That's how another way Sister Deborah can, how would I say, discern who's who and what's what when they're in a different lane. Now listen to this. As he was teaching me about life is in black and white, he said, you know how you learned what took place before the foundation of the world? He said, Deborah, you can connect that. You can connect that with that. You can connect it. Life is what belonged to the bosom of the Most High Yah and his image. That's what life is. Life is his breath and his image. Let's say that again. Life is his breath, and he gave you, through the breath, he gave you a spirit. It's life that he blew in you. It blew in you, not just the breath, but an image of his spirit, so you too can have a spirit, which is a lowercase light. But what he's saying is life is who he is. And not so much as black and white. It's not so much as a nation, a race, a nationality, a belief. It is a fact that life is never been. Never ever will it be a people, a nation, a religion, a race, black and white. For it is Yah, breath, and an image like unto it, and like unto him. So life is not something we can, okay, I'm gonna set another example. You know how I told y'all you ain't got no life? You really don't have no life. You run around here with your head chopped off, calling yourself, this is my life. Nobody tell me what to do. I got one life to live. I can live it any way I want. I have a choice. This is my life. No, baby. No. They never taught you your own nation. Even to today, they say they awakened, but they knocked out dead. Because these things in which I speak unto you are the true awaken out of any sleep. So he tells me this morning, he said, life is not a black and white, Deborah. Now, I know it's not for me for him to say that, because I know that already. So what he wanted me to do is dig deeper. I didn't know that. So for him to say that to me, something I already know, but then he wanted me to dig deeper. He said, what about what took place before the foundation of the world? Where was I at? In the heaven, in the kingdom, and anywhere he chose to be. When he glided across the mist of the water, he saw his spirit. He didn't see black and he didn't see white. The power, I never thought of how powerful it is. What took place before the foundation of the world. You know what else is just as greatest? It's just as greater? Is to know that the people never understood Genesis 1 and 2. They'll never master 3. Because what is in Genesis 1 and 2 also help you to understand what took place before the foundation of the world. And when you understand what took place the foundation before the foundation of the world, you understand, wait a minute, these things was finished. These things was completed. Did these things that was finished and completed, did it have a color? No, it didn't. Was it black? Was it white? Was it a nation? No, it didn't. When it came to the heaven, when it came from out of heaven, everything that was inhuman only was spirit. The breath of Yah was giving you a spirit. Wait a minute, hold up, Father. Is that what Solomon was talking about? Yes, Deborah. Raining on the just as well as the unjust? Sunshine on the righteous as well as the unrighteous? Yes. So we been. Because we have made everything about us as a people, as a nation, as a color, as a Hebrew, as a Jew, as Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and didn't understand that heaven was never about all that. Before we hit this earth, you guys, before he knew me, before I was in my mother's womb, he knew me. Do you think he knew me black and white? Do you think he knew me to be Russian? Or not Russia, Chinese? All of that was for the world, the earth. And what took place before the foundation of the world, it teaches you how to trust in what was, what is, and what's going to be. How do it teach you that, Deborah? Because you already know it all coming from the kingdom, where the throne of the Most High Yah reside. You see what I'm saying? So it leaves all the race, black and white, different nations, different religions, different colors, different belief. It puts all that on the back burner. It put it all where it belonged, nowhere. So as I was washing dishes, he said, Deborah, life isn't. Deborah, life isn't. Deborah, life isn't black and white. We made it black and white. Heavens didn't make it black and white. We did. When he sent us down, we wasn't black and white. You get what I'm saying? Not when he sent us down, but when he created, when we were in the heaven, we weren't black and white. So when heaven see us, he ain't seeing us as black and white. He ain't seeing us as this nationality or the Hebrew or the Greek. Y'all got to bend up and you got to bend down. Because in heavens, there's no Jews nor Gentiles. In heavens, there's no white. There's no black. It's all because the flesh got in the midst and turned the fathers up to down. To turn, the Father said right to left. To turn, when the Father said light, they took it darkness. Everything he said, the flesh of man took it to the opposite. And this is what you see today. This is what you see. Let me explain to you. Life is not a black and white. You see? Life is not a black and white. But I can tell you what life is. It's the breath of life that the Father breathed in one, and so that one can enter with a spirit, which is an image like his spirit. You hear Negroes, let me not say Negroes, you hear melanated men saying that God is melanated. Yeshua is melanated. That's the flesh, baby. He's not melanated. He's not black. He's not those things. Heaven knows who he is, and it is a spirit. The Father have tamed us that are the elect, that holds the mystery, with this whole thing of understanding that flesh won't enter into the kingdom. It didn't come from the kingdom. It ain't going to enter in. If it was about black and white, it would have came down here and not used dirt. You see? He would have given you to be a Chinese or melanated or white from the heaven. All the Father's concern is that when your spirit stands before him, that is what's going to be judged. When your spirit stands before the Most High, he's not going to be looking at you and saying, when you did this to my people, you did this to my people, and you did this to my people. Or you white and you was hatred, you hung my people, you did this. No. No. That's why Sister Deborah's in trouble. Because when he come to me through the water and say, Deborah, life is not black and white. That means the kingdom, when we stand before the judgment seat, it ain't going to be a time where the Father is going to be trying to decide or give you the opportunity to say that you are who you are, or to say that you are the Hebrew Israelites, you are the tribe of Judah. No, people. Heaven's already got you either in the Lamb book of life or the books to the lake of fire. So what you are on this earth is not who you are on the outer man, but it's who you are on the inner man. It's what's going to stand before the Most High Yah. Deborah, life is not a black and white. White nor black. Black nor white. Melanated, Chinese, Japanese. That's not what's in heaven. That is not what is in heaven, y'all. You think Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob gonna pull up melanated to the kingdom? They gonna pull up in their spirit. Let me see if I can show you something. Let me go to Revelation chapter 20, because I think that's what he wants me to also bring forth. I didn't know that. But let's see here. Let me kind of help you out a little bit. Okay, hold up, hold up. Okay, now I got it. Now I got it now, y'all. I got it. Okay. So what he's saying is life isn't black and white. What we're doing here on this earth is discrediting righteous, just, upright. Yah himself. Because we have added on and have taken away the things which is spirit and truth. Truth don't have a color. Spirit don't have a color. It is a light. You see what I'm saying? So what we did and we continue to do, and it's okay. It's okay. It's over. It's finished. You can clown until the circus closed the door. It's over. So Deborah, life is not black nor white. Now you all might think he's saying something else. No, I'm telling you what he said to me. He's trying to get me to a place where I am in full understanding. It's not what's on the outer man. It's what rests in the inner man. And the only reason why he gave you his image is because he wanted only that which he gave you, which was a spirit like unto his image, so your spirit would stand before his spirit for judgment. For what? For what it allowed the flesh to do. And what is written in the Lamb Book of Life? What is written in the books? What you do and did in your flesh, because you let the flesh have full dominion over your spirit, the only thing that's coming to stand before the throne of Yah. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. True Jews, Greeks, Chinese, Japanese, it's not standing before the Most High, Yah. Yah. It's life is not a color, a race, a denomination, a belief. Life is what Yah loaned you. That's what it is. That same life and that same image he gave to Chinese, Japanese, African, melanated, white people, Europeans, Italian. We all carry two things in common. We have two things in common. We have the breath that blew in us a spirit, which is his image. Every human being outside of those they have cloned has his breath and the image of a spirit. The breath returned to the Father. The spirit returned for judgment to the throne. All he gave you was an image of his spirit. And he gave you a spirit that's an image of his. It is not his spirit. It is his image. And he gave you his breath. That's what he loaned you, his breath. But you have your own spirit, which is a spirit that's like unto the image of the Father. That's going to stand before the white throne for judgment. Do you really believe you're going to stand there as a Negro? Do you really think that you're going to stand there as a Hebrew Israelite? You really think you're going to stand there as a European? You think you're going to stand there as a Chinese, a Japanese, a German? We're not standing before the white throne. in our flesh. We're standing in our spirit that's going to look like the image of the Father, but it's going to have our wicked ways. So what happened? The Father say, life is not black and white. So say unto that one, because this is a question he feels that many of the elites, those that are chosen to be servants of the Most High Yah, they wobble with this because they don't know. When we stand before the Father, it is already written in the books that's going to stand before us, opened. It's not going to be a battle. Oh, no, I'm the true Jew. I'm Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, when they stand before the Father, they're going to stand before the Father. Already written their eternal destiny. That's why when you hear of the New Jerusalem, he told you already what was going to be on the gates of the New Jerusalem. What name going to be up there? That name does not represent a color. It's going to represent the spiritual Israel. What did I tell you? I know a lot of them telling you to send money and get ready to get on the ship. They coming for you and come, move now, closer to them, or go over Africa, go everywhere. But if you are already written before the foundation of the world to go to the spiritual promised land, it's no way you're going to be left behind. It is written. You see? So, while we sit and use up the end day times battling race, hate, male, female, Europeans, heathens, Gentiles, melanated, African, Chinese, Russia, German, we're battling the outer man and have no righteous resting in the inner man to be able to understand that you have the oil in your lamp. You couldn't even tell nobody you do. Oh yeah, you can lie. Anybody can lie. Everybody on earth will tell you they're going to heaven. Just about. Even the man that kills every day, he wake up at a certain time at night to go out to kill. He think heaven's got the doors open for him. He run around here killing because he think heaven gave him the power to take life. See? That's how fit of a time period, not a time period of this day that we're in. People making right wrong and wrong right. They support wrong, but they can't support right. And they think right is them. So how could you be right and not support right? Don't make sense, do it? That's what the Father shared with me. But let me tell you, he was saying, life isn't black and white. He said, by me teaching you what took place before the foundation of the world, that was one of the keys. It's not based on if you are a Gentile heathen or a Jew or Greek. All of them, it's going to enter. Oh, everybody going to have to stand. I hear Yeshua saying he separate the sheep from the goats. And I say to Yeshua, I say, okay, if you separate the sheep from the goats, why didn't you say melanated? Why didn't you say Jews? Why didn't you say Hebrew Israelites? Why didn't you say? He said, but Deborah, that ain't how it rumbles in the heaven. You see what I'm saying? I don't look for y'all to tell me nothing. You can't tell me nothing. I listen to heaven. Bark at me, 24/24. You think I'm going to be listening to you all down here? And you all haven't even mastered Genesis 1 and 2? You're chasing your tail. And your tail is chasing you. So you just going this way, and then you go back and route the other way. It ain't going nowhere but in a circle. So him telling me this, and I'm going to tell y'all why he told me this. Because this is what he said. I didn't want to go over in this area, but the Holy Spirit I was full of the energy from the Holy Spirit. I'm going to tell you what I did. I cleaned my whole house, y'all. I washed all clothes. I was doing things I ain't done in probably a year. I was doing it. And I was feeling good. Because every time I get to that water, he was clean up the bathroom. I said, if somebody come over here and say, why is that lady cleaning that bathtub? How's she going to get it any whiter than what it is? You see? Sister Deborah was doing that thing. Because I kept feeling so good in my spirit. I had so much energy. And when he sat there and told me, life, Deborah, isn't black and white. I wanted to say just black and white as a saying. No, he said, no, it's not a nationality. It's not a race. It's not China. It's not German. It's not Japanese. It's not Jews, melanated, heathens, Gentiles, Europeans. No, that's not what heaven is. Heaven is not that. When the New Jerusalem bring down, you notice the gate going to be called some names out of the tribe of Judah, the 12 tribes. That's what the gates are going to be called. Because I explained to y'all sitting around here waiting for a ship. Y'all sitting around waiting for him to take you to the promised land. How is it that you can go to the promised land and you don't know nothing? You don't care to know nothing. You don't do anything that's righteous and just. You don't do anything but stand around and wait for the Father mystery to be dispersed so you can eat of it and say you got it. Don't you know, Father, know if you got it or not? And it's not when you hear somebody saying it and you think this person got it, when I'm going to eat from her plate and I'm going to get full. I'm going to get a full meal deal. Y'all don't play that. Why you say that, Deborah? Because heaven already got it wrote in and wrote out. It ain't about how you can rob and steal and eat as much as you can to say that you have. The Father says that's the mindset that he have spoken to me many times. When I say up, they say down. When I say left, they say right. If I say right, they say left. If I say good, they say bad. It's nothing I could say, Deborah, that they won't counteract. And I say, I've seen that in Genesis, Father. They counteract everything. He say, the evening and the morning was the next day. So we were to look at the evening and wrap it into the morning. And it makes sense that the evening, because when he created it, it was darkness first. Then the morning, the light came. We didn't want that. We made morning, the light, the afternoon, the evening, and the night, and called it our day. He said, even the fact where he said, when you're born, cry. Because that's when they are born into a world of hell and trouble. But when you pass away, rejoice. No more trouble. No more going through. He said they flipped that. That's why they hooping and hollering at the funeral now. Can't even handle death. And death is a part of the breath of life working. And when I take it back, that's death. So what's going on? What's the problem? Why are you hooping and hollering? That's my life. That's my life. That's my breath I put in. But because you didn't have no respect for his whole creation in the beginning, you run over, you pull over into Genesis 2. I gave that breath. And I gave him a spirit, my image. The world call it a soul. See, Deborah? I say spirit, they say soul. It's nothing the Father could say today that's going to change who you are tomorrow. How about that? How about that? Why? Because it is written who you were before you was in your mother's womb, when you was in your mother's womb, when you hit the earth, even to the point of your last breath, is written where you're going to spend eternal life. Black and white is not life. Life is who the Father is. And you bet, he's not melanated. He's not African. He's not black. He's not, nor is the Son of Man. Nor is the Son of Man. And this is where they messed up from the floor up. And they continue to teach you all. I sit back and I said, Father, listen to how they're teaching these people. These people done gone. He said, but yeah, you should know that they should go. I said, yeah, they should go. He said, you should know. They should go. They ain't teaching nothing. So it don't matter what they do. So let me give you a clip in Revelation chapter 20 and verse 11. And I saw the great white throne. Revelation chapter 20, verse 11. And I saw the great white throne and him that sat on it. This is John giving you his vision. From whose face the earth and the heaven fled away. Earth and the heavens took off running because they saw the face of Yah. Okay? And there was found no place for them. There was found no place for them. Let's say, for instance, we had a cemetery and it's got, let's say, 5 million people in the burial grounds, in the slot. Those burial grounds are called the grave. The graves are called hell. The burial plot that Sister Deborah would be in is called the grave. It is called hell. The grave is hell and hell is the grave, in which once we pass away, our bodies is buried in the grave, which is hell, and hell is the grave. Look at Revelation chapter 20 and verse 11. Look where it says the earth and the heaven fled away. Why? Because they saw what they took one look at the Father. I'm out. Watch this here. And there was found no place for them. What happened to them? Come on, go with me, Deborah. I'll show you. That's why it ran. Because it knew I was coming for it. So, but wait a minute, Father. If the earth fled away because it saw your face, but isn't the grave in the earth? And it's called hell? He said, yeah. Come on a little bit higher. Let's go Revelation chapter 13. In Revelation chapter 20 and verse 13. Revelation chapter 20 and verse 13. Listen to this. And the sea gave up the dead, which was in it, like unto the grave. The sea was holding the dead. Many died in the sea. They were holding the dead. Okay? Like into the grave and hell. It holds the dead. So here it says in Revelation chapter 20 and verse 13, and the sea gave up the dead which were in it. So not only did the earth and the heaven take off running. The sea gave up its dead. Okay, watch this here. And death and hell delivered up the dead, which were in them. Death delivered, no. Death and hell delivered up the dead, which were in them. And they were judged, every man according to their works. Their works were already in the heaven before they were in their mother's womb. You see, your destiny in the book that you enter in is already has your name and your works. So you see, he don't have to get you to get up there and start telling him what you did. Why? He's not finna allow you to continue like that. Why? It's over. I had everything already written in the heavens before anything was on the earth. Were you in the heavens as melanated? No. Were you European? No. Before you was in your mother's womb, what color were you? You were a spirit. You were a spirit. You're going to return as a spirit. That's what the breath of life gave every flesh. The image of Yah, which is a spirit, it was blown through the breath of life, which life is the Father's breath, and a spirit he blew in you that is his image. Now watch this here. Like unto his image. Okay? Now go back to Revelation chapter 20, verse 13. And the sea gave up the dead which was in it, and death and hell. Death, when we die, we go to the grave. Death and hell. The grave is hell, okay? And hell is the grave. The death and hell delivered up the dead, okay? Which were in them. And they were judged, every man according to their works. You see, all of these here death, everybody in the grave, everybody that has died, they are in the grave called hell. There is a sleep upon every man and woman, boy and girl that's in the grave. Sleep to a point of a rest, because there's no pain, no suffering, no crying, no hearing, no talking. You just in a deep sleep. So when it's saying that death and hell deliver up the dead, it's because those that were dead, their spirits were brought up before the throne, which were in them. Our spirits are going to be dead, no matter where we are at in the ground. Some people are dead in California, some people are dead, it don't matter. It's going to give it up. And the place in which you are buried, your spirit is going to come up for judgment. And your flesh is going to remain in that grave, in that hell. Now watch this now, y'all. So the grave and hell is the same place. It's the burial ground where our flesh go in to bury us. But when the Father called for all to rise, all spirits is going to come before the throne. Now watch this here. To be what? Judged. Watch this here. Verse 14. And death and hell, which was that grave we are in, was cast into the lake of fire. Praise the mighty Yah. What do you mean, Deborah? Listen to verse 14. Death and hell, which is the grave, was cast into the lake of fire. What's in the death and hell? What's in there? Your flesh. Your flesh is going to remain in that grave. Only thing going to pull up come judgment is your spirit. That's the only thing coming before the throne of the Father. Your bones and your flesh, it's going to be thrown into the lake of fire. So where's your color? Where's your melanated? Where's your Chinese nationalities or European or Russian or German or France or Italy? Your nationalities, I'm calling continents and countries, but your nationality ain't going nowhere. Only thing's going to pull up, the sea going to give up the spirits of those that had died in sea, but their flesh and their bones is going to remain. The Father is going to take those things. He said hell and death and hell is going to be thrown where? It's going to be cast, verse 14, death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death. This is the second death. You see? Now, you go back to 15 and it says, and whosoever was not written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire. Death and hell is going to the lake of fire. Those that give up the sea, go back to 13, and the sea gave up the dead which were in it, and death and hell delivered up the dead which were in them. And they were judged every man according to his work. And what he said, all of these people that were dead in these locations, okay, they were judged when they came. No, look, we got to get that right. Let me make sure I say that right. Verse 12, and the book was open, which is the book of life, and the dead were judged out of the book, out of those things which were written in the books. Okay, there you go. The dead. There you go. The dead. And the sea gave up the dead. So all the ones that are not written in the Lamb book of life, they're already in the books. I just noticed that in Revelation chapter 20 and verse 12. It's already letting you know the books is the book that leads to the lake of fire. You see? So that's what it said when it says in 13, and the sea gave up the dead, those that are going to the lake of fire, which were in it. And death and hell, which is the grave that we are buried in, death and hell, we in verse 13, delivered up the dead, which were in them. And they were judged every man according to their works. And death and hell was also cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death. You see? So understand, this is the second death. It's showing you that this is the second death. But the dead that's in the grave and the dead that's in the sea, they already, not saying everybody, but those that are in the sea that the Father called dead, D-E-A-D, they are already written in the books to go to the lake of fire. You see what I'm saying? So he's showing you even the grave itself, when you get to 14, where they were buried in. Listen to what it said. And the death and the hell were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death. So the hell, which is the grave, They too, death and hell, which is the grave is hell and hell is the grave, they were also cast into the lake of fire. Okay? Along with those that were written in the book according to their works. The sea gave up its dead, D-E-A-D. Those are the one that's dead to they are the one that's dead to eternal life, to the eternal lake of fire. When the D-A-Y, those are the lake of fire. So when you read Revelation chapter 20 and verse 12, 13 and 14 and 15, you can see right there. You can see right there that they were not written in the Lamb book of life. Okay? They had to give up. The sea had to give up. What that means is give up those that died in that sea. Because they are dead to death. Okay? And those that are buried in the hell, which is grave is the hell, and hell is the grave, they had to give up those that was what? D-A-D-A. Dead to the lake of fire. And when they gave them all up, they all went to the lake of fire. And then he took the grave, which is hell, and hell is the grave, and tossed that bad boy in the lake of fire too. So where is your melanated? Where is your nationality at? I like to know, where is your nationality? Where is it at? The Father said life is not black and white. We just a bunch of liars. We can't find nothing to do but to lie all the way to the end. But he said there ain't nothing that he didn't know. He knew we would lie from the beginning to the end. And here people are doing just that. They feel more content. But what I do like about this is the grave is also going to be thrown in the lake of fire. Bam! That's why you see here in verse 11 where the earth and the heaven fled away and they were found no place for them. You see? And it also tells you why the earth and the heavens fled away. But the graves, which is hell, death and hell, not dead, but death and hell. Dead mean the lake of fire. You going to the lake of fire. Your spirit is dead. That means you're going to the lake of fire. Dead can't go into the Lamb book of life for eternal heaven. They only go to the lake of fire. But death and hell, which is the grave, that bad boy going where? In the lake of fire too. So where is your nationality? Where is it going? See, we have been embracing lies because we are the children, not we, because people are the children of the liar, the father of lies. That's what I wanted to say. And they content. Now this is what he was telling me. He said, it is said on the gates of names that's going to appear. He said, Deborah, they didn't understand the spiritual Abraham, the spiritual Isaac, the spiritual Jacob, the spiritual David. They didn't know nothing about that. You come here and you tell these people that, they don't even get it. So what Sister Deborah say, here it is. Here is Israel. All the tribes, here is Israel. The Father is going into Israel, pulling out the spiritual seed of Israel. And all the other Israel is going to have to battle on this earth, especially those here in the United States. It's going to be all over. But I'm just saying, here in the United States, because it's going down before the world go down. United States going first. So you see, a lot of you all don't see really what's going on and you don't care. Because a lot of you all think that you all are so separate from from what is righteous and what is spirit and truth. And you think that y'all just gonna take you at your word and your feelings and your emotions and your wisdom and your knowledge and your personal opinion. No, 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 no. This is the final call, y'all. And the final call is not to call you into the kingdom in the Lamb Book of Life or in the Lamb Book of Death. No, it's the call letting you know that if he's gonna give Satan the day and put it in this day and time, tribulation, judgment, his fears, his wrath. He's giving this to Satan so he can cut up and flow up from the flow up. Guess what? Don't think that he is not the power over still it all. Because when he was telling me, he said, now you know there's no fallen angels. He said these angels that they talking about does not exist. But nobody can't tell them. Let the heathens and the Gentile pull up another book, give them another book that they could, they will run for it. That's what he said. They will run for that book. Look at all the people that are running for to get information from YouTube and Google and AI. Everybody loving this AI. And I was like, wow. He said they sit around, even this movie that leave the world behind, something like that, leave the world. He said, look how they running around here, trying to dissect that movie, Deborah. And they haven't even discerned the end time. But they can dissect a movie, but can't discern the time that we are in. But they can dissect a movie, but they can't discern, he said, the time in which they are in. If you can't see how messed up on the floor up that is, I don't know what else I could say. But the Father said that to me. Look at them. They can discern a movie, but can't discern the time. He also spoke to me about unequally yoked. He was telling me about back in the days, the reason why they weren't allowed to mingle with other nationality is because he was focusing on the house of Israel in how they conduct themselves. He was doing a lot of work with just the house of Israel. Y'all was. If y'all don't believe it, that's on you. Nobody cares no more. The truth is, y'all been working with us since the beginning of time. Since the beginning of time. If you see in Sodom and Gomorrah, those were melanated people. When you look at the book of Judge, the men in Benjamin, the Benjamites wanted to have sex with the Levi and his servant, the two men. Those were Israel. He's saying, but they don't know. That's where all that mess started. With their own race. He said that they always boasting and boosting, oh, this book is for us. This is for us. We the people. We the this and we the. He said they haven't even read the book in spirit and in truth. Because the Ruach is the only one can break this book down. This book cannot be studied, mastered, Greek, Hebrew. No way until that Ruach come in and settle in you and teach you all things. So he was telling me about, have you seen? I said, first I was kind of leery because I said, okay, here go another. He finna drop a bomb on me. He said, you mean you ain't seen? And when he told me, I was like, but Father, I did that for 2 years. I've said it for 2 years. And I'm burnt out. I am burnt out, Father. But I'm going to show y'all what he said. Now, with this life, is it black and white? He said, you hear people focusing on everything that divides what is righteous. Because the only way they are able to deal, live, or exist is to play the games of the flesh. He said they play the game of the flesh because they conquer that which is natural. without conquering that which is spirit. They conquer that which is natural, which is in the flesh, but have not conquered that which is spirit. Because he said it's what the spirit, the inner man, know, say, believe, and the outer man, which is your flesh, knows nothing but what it uses itself, which is its flesh, feelings, emotion, and personal opinion, to dictate their walk with Yah. So he said, you can't conquer the natural, which is the flesh, without first and foremost conquering the spirit. I just got to explain it to y'all at the beginning of the topic. That's why they're so bent up and bent down on race, color, who's this, who's that, who got this, who got that. And they missing all the sin that they have detached themselves to. Because not only did they detach it, it's detached here in them. Because they conquered the outer man without conquering the inner man. So the flesh is living the flesh out, while the spirit is anorexia and has no nourishment. Okay? He said, a humble man can be humbled just so I can get his spirit humbled. The Father said he can humble a man just to get his spirit humbled. That's what he said. He said, because if I, himself, have one that's written, he humbles his outer man just so he can get his inner man in line. You see, that's how important it is to understand. And that's why I said that, I always said, most of you all don't even know if you have any type of calling or purpose in you. It's because you don't have the Holy Spirit. Because the Holy Spirit pinpoint your tell exactly what you should be doing or what you should be saying and how you should be conducting yourself, because it's over. Only thing we have left is he that is greater in us than he that is in the world. And that's not only what we have left. We have only the one. We have the one that owns it all living in us. So for us to stand around and act like we ain't got nothing to do and all we can do is sit here and eat the food from all these plates on this devil platform and ain't taking anything out of the plate of righteous, the plate of spirit and truth. And then when you take out of the plate of spirit and truth, you're just stealing. You're just stealing. And it's a good thing that you're stealing it, because y'all ain't letting it manifest. That's the difference. He knows he is. He knows who's in the body of Hamashiach. So people can crawl up in the body of Hamashiach all they want. Just like he said, when one hurt, we all hurt. He letting you know. Who do you say you with? Who do you say you say you got what? In the body of Hamashiach, it says, when one hurt, we all hurt. Why? Because people never understood the saints and the true church is in one. So when you deny any one of his, you have denied all of his. That's the problem. That's why I say you ain't hurting me. It's just showing that you're not in the body of Hamashiach. Because the way he set up the body of Hamashiach is we in it together. That's how we have to think that thing. That's how we have to feel that thing. That's how we have to walk that thing. That's how we have to talk that thing. That's how we have to live that thing. But people caught up in their flesh, family. People caught up in their flesh so potent that they're going to meet that flesh where its eternal life is. And they're going to meet up where in the lake of fire. That's it. And today, they still don't know. They still don't know. They think that the flesh family is it. And I sit back and listen to everything he said. I come to bring the sword between mother and daughter, father and son. There going to be 5 in the house, 2 against 3, and 3 against... What's all that? He said Genesis chapter 3 and 15, Deborah. The serpent seed and the woman seed, which is the spiritual seed. That's why that sword coming. To make sure they don't come together. That makes sure that the terror and the weak don't be friends with each other. The Father bringing that sword. He know what he got invested. He don't have to play with you. You ain't nobody. See, he know what he got invested. And then I sat there and I poured out about 10 verses. I said, Father, all of these verses telling us. He said, why did you think Abraham had to separate from his family and never look back? Every one of my servants and my elect, I had to pull them away from their family. He said the 12 disciples, they never did really return home. You see? See, y'all thinking it's about you and your family. Me and mine. What I got is mine and mine. For me, that's right. You're right. That's a different body. But the body of Hamashiach, you're supposed to work together. Because he got a head. That's all the power, which is Hamashiach, which is Christ. So when he's saying he have to humble a man, outer man, so he can prepare his inner man to come on here. It's time to get up. So he have to humble him. What do you mean humble? Sometimes it's put him in prison, on his bed. You see? Sometimes he have to put him where he's sick. He can't hear. He can't see. Y'all do whatever he wants to that flesh to work on that spirit. But what he does, he told me, but I humble that flesh, Deborah. So tell him that. And he ain't playing. You bring that flesh to the lowest turn. You won't even be able to get out of the bed. He would bring a person that's 179 pounds down to 60 pounds. And the doctors run around here and say, we can't do nothing for you. Don't tell me what my Father cannot do. Just so he can prepare that spirit of who that individual is. He said to me today, I will humble a man, Deborah, to bring that spirit back unto me, where it is written. And another thing he says, the children won't realize we had it wrong. He said the children won't even realize that we had it wrong. That's about right. That's why the kids are going around doing what they're doing now. Not just because it was prophesied. It's because we never had it right. But we run around here pretending that we are awakened and we got it all. And we the people, we the this, all those things that don't matter. We sit and talk about the heathens and Gentiles history books. It's lying. This here history book we say is ours. And we still ain't read it to find truth. We don't even know spirit of truth. So wait a minute, hold up now. If the heathens got their history books, and you said this book is your history, why is it you don't know nothing about it in the beginning? You see what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm saying? Hear this whole book, and you don't have spirit and truth with the light in your right hand. You're teaching these people what the world is doing, trying to justify, clarify, and identify what the world is doing is the prophecy of the Most High Yah. Stand down, clowns. You ain't taught the people spirit and truth. So he was telling me today, the children, he said, Deborah, the children won't realize we had it wrong. They won't realize that we had it wrong. Because there's no right in them. So they just assume they're walking around here wrong, not realizing we had it wrong. We run around here trying to teach. These men are trying to teach these other men. You can't teach these men. The Father don't want men teaching men or women teaching women. No, y'all got that bent. Y'all got that thing bent up and bent down. What's the sense of teaching somebody and you don't know spirit and truth with the light in your right hand? You think that you can walk in through the broad gate? You can walk in through the broad gate and teach these people? Seriously, come on now. You mean to tell me? And that's what you see. Everybody teaching people from the broad gate. That tells you that's just the gate to destruction. But when somebody come along teaching you the way to the narrow gate, you insist on staying in the broad gate because it seems like it's the way everybody else going, so I'm going to go too. And that's the only way that's all my flesh embrace. It's where the narrow gate, those that are going in the narrow gate. And so everybody goes straight through the narrow gate. But it's not a place or it's not a direction that the Father don't have already wrote in. And he will have some of his going heading to the broad gate. But that's why I say he that one, I'm here for you. I'm here for you. He's going to find the way. Okay? So this is what he was saying. He was talking about life isn't black and white. And he's saying he's not talking about black and white as a newspaper or something that's black. He's talking about race, color. That's not what life is. And because we fail to know or understand what life was in Genesis chapter 2, that's it wasn't meant for us, though. I mean, let me stop saying us. He want me to stop that. It's not meant for you to know. If you miss Genesis 1 and 2 and 3, well, it's just not meant for you to know. So what you know is what you stuck with knowing. He'll see you on the other side. No, he won't see you on the side because from what he's telling in Revelation chapter 20, he's letting you know you dead already in the sea. You dead already in the grave. So when you pull up, your spirit rise up. It's just going to, he's sending it to the lake of hell. He ain't playing with you. He already know where you going. You already written in the Lamb books of life. Not in the Lamb. You already written in the books that says the lake of hell. So what is it he don't know? He knew that was before the foundation of the world. You were written there. And your works. It's all going with you to the lake of hell. See what you're going to do there. How about that? How about that? Okay. Now, he was telling me about unequally yoke. Unequally yoke. He said, when you speak of unequally yoke, Deborah, they don't understand it because they run into Torah and they run into the old trying to justify, clarify, and identify that something back then had it righteous, had it just, had it upright. He said they's a liar from the pit of hell. They never had it right then. That's why we are where we at today. It's because they wasn't where they should have been yesterday. What sense does it make that everything in Torah was so just, so righteous, so upright? Why are we where we at today? If that was. Why are we where we at if we are the seeds of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob? Weren't those fathers ace? So we're their children. Why are we where we at today? He said, because life is not black and white. We just keep lying to ourselves. Life is not black and white. We just insist on lying to one another and to ourselves. Because it makes a lot of sense. If yesterday was so good, why did we end up where we at today? Just think about that, y'all. Just think. It speaks of our forefathers of yesterday. Why are we where we are today? We had Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. But why are we where we at today? See, nobody want to talk about it. Because no one really understands Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob were the seed of the flesh, and they was the seed of eternal life. That's why I say we can't mimic them, y'all, in the way of their flesh. That's why the Messiah came, so we can mimic him. But then we couldn't mimic. We couldn't look at Abraham and say he had 3 wives. We couldn't look at David and say he had 15 wives. We couldn't do that because that was the flesh. The father would say, why couldn't you mimic David feelings he had for me? How about that? Why couldn't you mimic him? He left all about Psalms. He left the word of his Psalms and all of this. Why couldn't you mimic Solomon? He left much for you. Why couldn't you mimic them? Because you cannot mimic their spirit because you're chasing their flesh. They were the seed of the spirit living in the flesh. That's what I meant to say earlier. They are the seed of the spirit living in the flesh. That's why we could not, and cannot master their flesh. Because if that was the case, Torah all the way up, why are we where we at today? See, going back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, here is the house of Israel. If Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob were still today, they'll be coming out to go into the promised land of Israel. Because they are the spiritual house of Israel. That's the only thing coming out. It's the spiritual house of Israel, not Israel itself. That's why it's even numbered. So you won't get confused with thinking that everybody that's melanated that's of the house of Israel is coming to the promised land. No. That's why he just went on and let you know just 1% of each tribe. I'm so okay. I am so okay with the will of the Father. I am so okay with the will of the Father. Want me to tell you why? I'm in the wilderness seeing all this trash. I'm living today, not dead. I'm on this earth with you, living, seeing you do the things you do and do nothing and think you something. Okay, so he said, yoke. He said, unequally yoke is in the spirit, not in the flesh. It's not a color, Deborah. It's not a black or white. It's not a Hebrew, Greek, or Russian, China, righteous this and righteous that. When you are unequally yoked, it's in the spirit only. He's not caught up in your flesh marrying, because also for all the reason of the flesh do we marry. Deborah, life is not black and white. We set it up wrong, y'all, and we still living it today. And wondering, what's this, all this stuff going? Now, baby, please, if I could sit here and just tell you the things I've seen in the wilderness, I'll shut this whole world down. That's just how chaotic it is that you still running around here because you got your mindset that everything's going to go like this. Oh, this me, mine, my children, my family, my husband, my wife. We got this. We going to do this. We going to do this. You're going to be doing all that like the day of Noah and the flood came. Doing me, we, and mine's. Father don't have no problem with that. He don't have no problem. He said, Deborah, it's over. You know? And I think him saying it's over also helps me to understand that you can't change that which is, that which was. You know it's going to be because I let you see it from the wilderness. So he said they even taught the lie of yoke. There's nothing that is anything that's unequal yoke is when you have two people that's in the world, or two people, that's in the world, get married. Two a man and a woman get married, he is not talking about unequally yoked to them. They can get married. The Father don't have no problem with two flesh getting married. Okay, the Father said he don't have no problem with the two flesh getting married. When they be talking about the marriage vows, that's on them. They just living a lie. Because the marriage vows is speaking only to those who are equally yoked. He's going back to saying, Deborah, life isn't black and white. And all the Father is saying, baby, I want you to stay in your lanes. Keep it spirit and truth. Because it's not black and white. It's not melanated, European. It's not what they have and continue to teach to make themselves feel good. You remember how I used to say, people be talking about a white woman marrying a black man marrying a white woman? Unequally yoked, the Father say, is only for those who are equally yoked, because he is in the center and they come in yoked with the same spiritual understanding. Praise the mighty God. And unequally yoked don't mean if you're a Jehovah's Witness and if you're over here and you're a Muslim. The Father said that don't have nothing to do with him. You can get married. If there's a melanated man and a melanated woman that want to get married, get married. That's y'all thing. But when it come down to the marriage that I have joined, this is two people in the light. Two people in spirit and truth. So when you ever wonder why marriages are the way that it is today and was yesterday and so very long, why these men run around here talking about polygamy and marrying and getting involved, it's because they saw all this unequally yoked. It has no connection to equally yoked. Equal, y'all, equally yoked together, because where you are one thing, she is the same. Y'all got Yah in common. You have the light and spirit and truth in common. Those that I have joined together, let no man put you under. That means no man. He ain't saying he can't split it, but he said let no man. This is equally yoked in the eyes of the Most High Yah. If it's equally yoked, most of the time it is called by Yah. It is appointed and anointed by Yah. You see? That's why it's important to get a man that put the Father first and foremost. But when a man is so weakened to his lust and his desires, and he see you on the outside and he just desiring for you to be his because he wants you, okay, that is not equally yoked. Equally yoked is equally yoked in the body of Hamashiach. That's why he says when you're in that body of Hamashiach, you have the light, and both of you all have seek ye the kingdom first. I put you together. You might not know him, he might not know you, but because of what I have joined together, let no man put you under. He's letting you know what I have joined together. Deborah, tell them sick people, I don't go putting dark with light. Dark with light. I don't go putting a man with a man or a woman with a woman. I don't go putting how would I say it? A white man with a black woman, or a black woman with a white man. That's not what, I don't have no dealing in that marriage. Only marriage I have is when there's spirit. Something y'all keep forgetting. See, that's why I keep telling y'all this thing is spirit and truth with the light. This thing is not like y'all, they told y'all all these years. This thing don't have no connection to the outer man. Those that he said, I have joined together, let no man. I the Father in heaven. And if the heavens has joined you together, don't you know nothing on the earth can divide you? So you know he is not talking about all these marriages that these people are out here doing. And polygamy, I'm telling y'all, these men that's out here with all these wives, you know what that is? That's fornication. That is adultery at its highest. And they trying to make it righteous in this day and time. Just to what? To satisfy their flesh. That's it. Let's say it's not a sexual thing. It's still your flesh. Because Yah is not joining. He's joining people. One woman and one man equally yoked. Why? Because he found them to be equally yoked. This man, that's why, you remember how it says, pray that the Father will send you a wife, pray that the Father will send you a husband, because that's the marriage that Yah approve of. That's the marriage that Yah approve of. No one never thought all of that chaos came out of Jacob's household. It spilled over into our bloodline of our men. All that chaos spilled over in the bloodline of our men. And what was it? What was it? Iniquity. I will visit the iniquity in the fathers, 3 to 4 generation. And that's why I keep falling over. And that's why we at today. We don't believe that. That's what he said. When I say up, Deborah, they say down. When I say left, they say right. When I say white, they say black. You can't win with them. You can't win with them. So the Father said, even equally yoked is not founded in life of black and white. It is founded in the spirit, yoking together in the spirit. That's the marriage that he has joined together. Let no man, meaning no flesh, divide what I have joined together. Because both of you put him first. Before you got married, you put the Father first. You have his spirit. You have his light. And Yah put you together. That's equally yoked. All this here on the outer man. Back in the days, he said that he didn't want no one connecting to the house of Israel, because the Israel was so detached to so much wicked and sin. They were so detached to so many wicked and sin and evil things. He was working with them as a nation. And he didn't want any other nation to come into them. Where we at today, it should be a lesson learned. But I think this guy's name is Jordan. These men, these Hebrew Israelite men who call themselves the true Jews, these melanated men are doing so much wicked. To the Father said to me to let you all know that their iniquity has cracked the heavens. And that means there's no mercy coming for them. Let me tell you what he was telling me. Let me finish this in here. We destroy each other. He said that we as a nation of people, we cry regarding what others have done to us. The Father wants me to let you know this. This is what he said. This is today. He said they destroy each other more than anybody destroying them. The Father says this nation is destroying. This nation destroy each other more than nation destroying them. Wow. Now I believe that. I believe that without a doubt. And that's what I'm trying to tell y'all. Y'all didn't believe it. But I like what he's doing though. I'm going to give y'all a sneak peek of what the Father's doing at the end. So he says, if you are found in him and he is in you, know that you must discern things based on the spirit and not of the feeling. No, you must discern in the spirit and separate your feelings. He said you must discern in the spirit realm and separate your feelings from the discerning in the spirit. Because what happens when you get in your feelings, you thinking you discerning something. They don't work together, baby. Your feelings and discerning in the spirit, they're enemy to each other. They fight against each other. So don't let your feelings be a way of how you discern things. If you are able to discern things, let it be in the spirit realm. He said you cannot discern things in your feelings and your emotions. It has to be discerned in the spirit and not in your feelings and in your emotions. That's another thing he said. He wants you all to know that there are other nations that's going to inherit the kingdom. Because life as he knows it, not the way you know it or I know it. The Father says life as he knows it and known it is not white and black. So understand, there were those who came to do special things that's going to be remembered. But he wants you to also understand, out of the Hebrew Israelite is the 12 tribes. And if you understand the gates and you understand who Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob were, you understand these are those who were and came as the spiritual seed. They are not the flesh seed. They are not born of the flesh. They are born of the spirit. I try to tell you all that. That's why these men can't mimic Solomon or David and how many wives. That was in the flesh. That was in the flesh. The flesh has no detachment in the righteous realm. But your spirit knows to do right. And it leads your flesh to do right. But you cannot come from your flesh and walk in your spirit into righteousness. That can't be done. So all of this stuff that they're doing is already written in the Lamb Book of Life. That's why they don't have no feelings. They don't have no care of what they're doing. Is because heaven's got them wrote in and wrote out their whole works of what they're doing on the earth. So that's why they're content. They don't have no problems with what they're doing and how they're doing. Iniquity is their favorite friend. It's their bestest friend. Iniquity is. Evil is too. And they so detached to that friend to where they don't see no light. They don't see no righteous. They don't see no just. They don't see no upright. What's wrong is right. What's right is wrong. They have nailed that to the wall, y'all. It ain't turning no other way. So a lot of times it's gonna keep getting you out of whack because they're gonna be doing wrong and calling it right. But when you in the spirit, when you in the body of Hamashiach, and the Hamashiach is there with you 24/24, he's gonna show you the way and how to stay in the narrow gate. Okay, so he wanted me to say to you, equally yoked is only when you equally in the spirit, not in the flesh. Equally yoked in Yah It's when two are yoked in the spirit, not in the flesh. Okay? Okay, the biggest enemy in the world today, the biggest enemy in the world today will not get better tomorrow. The enemy today is going to be worse tomorrow. The enemy today is going to be worse tomorrow. Okay? Okay. Now, what the Father was saying to me, I want to give you all this before I get off of here. It's really powerful. Hey, this is not it. Or here it is. The Father was showing something to me. He said, can you see it? And I'm like, I better not answer it because I really don't know what he's talking about. I don't know where he's coming from. I better not answer. He said, I want you to bring your mind to the judgment seat. Come on, go with me. The judgment seat. Do you see what I'm pulling out of darkness? Do you see how Judith, darkness, is being brought to the light? And he said, it's not going at a slow pace, Deborah. He said it's moving fast. Judith is being brought to the light because they have been in so much darkness while they have been in this land of their captivity. And they're thinking that it's okay to ignore that they are worse than their forefathers. They are sitting in darkness and calling it light because they think that I'm the true Jews. We the people. We the children. The Father says to me to tell you, in life, there's no black and there's no white. In life, in the way that he created it to be righteous or unrighteous. You see? So life has been orchestrated from heaven and handpicked to be one way here and one way here. That's the life of the creator, of the one who holds the right hand. While we're down here justifying it by a nationality, a religion, a color. You see? And he said, let them go on and play in the circus. Because when it's all said and done, it's going to be like heaven has orchestrated it. Life is not black and white. He said, when he was telling me, did I see? I really didn't see I didn't really see what he was saying, but he woke me up to it. He said, for 2 years, you've been telling these people, Judith is gone. They didn't pay you no attention because they Judith and they act like, hey, you talking to me. And that's why it don't matter. How many times, how many years you been telling them it's finished? None of that bothers or move people, Deborah. Even though it's been spoken, because I believe in T's and I's as we do on the earth. T's and I's. T's cross I's dotted. But the will of the Father override T's cross I's dotted. The will be done. Like it is in heaven, so shall it be on the earth. Because you didn't understand heaven is the key to what happens on the earth. I know man told you, we leaders, we rulers, we kings, we rule, we the choo-doo, we the people. No, baby. You're the one that's going to be left right here with your women, with your children, And women, you're going to be left right here with your husband and your family and your children. I'm telling you what I see from the wilderness. Okay? So this is what he shared with me, and I'm going to share it with y'all. He said, do you not see? You've been on here, you've been telling them how these men have this high level of hate. Judith men, you've been telling them, melanated men. It's just not Judith here in the United States. It's high level too. It's the highest, I think. But over in Africa, where those are melanated people, them the worstest men on the face of the earth outside of Judith in this land. Outside of Judith. And I ain't gonna sit here and lie to y'all. Anytime you can be the way that you are, say for instance, you the way that you are with the heathens, the Gentiles, the Chinese, the Russian, the European, the German, the French, that's different. But when you the way that you are to the Creator with the right hand, bro, you don't know what kind of danger you are in. You don't even know. You better watch yourself. Pretty soon, you ain't gonna need to watch yourself. You're gonna be watched. And you're gonna see things for what it is. This is what he was sharing with me. He went on to telling me about Diddy, Will Smith, Dwayne Wade, Jay-Z, 50 Cent, Kirk Franklin, Jamie Foxx, Art Kelly. Oh, it was a lot of them. Eddie Murphy. He was just showing me all these men. And he say, they're all coming out. They all coming. But they're being judged right in the midst of the world. See, they didn't listen. Those who said they was woke, they never said anything to anybody. But they support those that were doing wrong, even to today. And he went on and telling me, but I want you to understand, just as Adam said in Genesis chapter 10, that woman thou gave me, she caused me. She gave. That doesn't make any sense because it wasn't what somebody gave that caused the sin. It's what they did. You get it? Let's go there. Genesis chapter 10. That's why I say to y'all, be careful in trying to read this book without the Ruach. You can't understand none of it without the Ruach. You can run around here and lick under everybody you want. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Patriot, Twitter, whatever you want. You can't find it unless you are led by the teaching of the Holy Spirit. So when you get to Genesis chapter 3 and 10, listen to this. 10 said, this is Adam. And he said, I heard thy voice in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked, and I hid myself. The Father is letting you know that right then, the lust or the ideal of the body was important to men. Right then, it wasn't important to him that the Creator was calling him. The Creator or what he did that the Creator told him not to do. All that was important to Adam. He didn't even tell on woman here. He was important. It was more important to him that he say to the Father, I was naked and I hid myself. You see? So the Father wants you to know right there was a sign for men when they're teaching it, pastor, bishop, evangelist, prophet, Maureen seers, watchman, apostle, priest, any men, they should have blown that out the box. They should have blew it out the box. But this is what he said. They don't know spirit and truth. They don't know that they missed it from the beginning. Here he said that Adam was only concerned with being naked. That's a form of already recognizing the flesh. Not recognizing breaking the commandment, disobeying the Creator. Okay? Doing what he told him not to do. All that was important to him, that he had his nakedness. Because that's the only part that Satan knew that he was going to wear out men with. Okay? Then he took me to Genesis 3:11. And he said, who told you thou was naked? Okay? Hast thou eaten of the tree whereof I commanded thee that thou should not? One commandment. One commandment. Adam only had one commandment. So if Adam couldn't, this is another treat the Father want me to give you. If man in the perfect will of the Father was placed on the earth and couldn't uphold one commandment, what makes you think a man can hold 10? What he wants you to understand. Today, let's see if you uphold 10. When the first man at the perfect will of the Father created, perfect, no sin, no wrongdoing, no nothing, couldn't uphold one. What makes you think that men can uphold 10? All of that is chasing a game, circus. And that's what he always is saying to me. They playing. And they think they're getting away with it. That's why the judgment gonna hit them first. Because I've been turmoiling with them since the book of Genesis. He ain't say the book of the Genesis. He said since the beginning. And they still think I'm a play toy. They don't even know my right hand, Deborah. They didn't know where it was at. They didn't know where it exists. They didn't know nothing. So then he went on and said in verse 12, Genesis chapter 3 and verse 12. It says, now Adam couldn't even hold one commandment. So you going to tell me the men today can uphold 10? When there was no sin then, look at all the sin now. How can they uphold 10? They can't. Only way you can uphold the commandment is through the Holy Spirit. That's it. You can't uphold it outside of that. And the most of them, 99.9, they ain't upholding the commandment because he said they have disrespect their mothers as well as their fathers. He said that the littlest, least one, they have already disrespected. Like Leviticus 18. He said they disrespect that whole category, is messing with these babies, these girls, these little boys. And he said they've done so much wrong. And they want to say that this is their book. You're right. The Father said, look deep now. Look at Solomon and Gomorrah. Look at the book of Judge. Look at what's taking place in this book. Go back to Torah and see the hell that they were doing. And then pull back up and try to say something to the Most High Yah. You ain't going to be able to, because he has to be greater in you to even communicate with you. So all this stuff that y'all communicate, y'all dealing with the flesh. So in Genesis chapter 3 and verse 12, and the man said, the woman whom thou gavest to be with me, she gave, listen to this, she gave me the tree. She gave me the tree in which you told me to not take, but she gave it to me. She gave. Don't you see the Roman Catholic all up in there? She gave him. Don't forget, it wasn't a give. It was the fact that they was listening. Both of them were standing right there. And it tells you they were both standing. Let's go to Genesis. Genesis chapter 3 and verse 6. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food and that it was pleasant to the eyes and the tree to be desired to make wise, she took the fruit thereof and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her husband with her. So he was right there all the time. She was entertaining Satan. Right there. So what was she giving Adam that Satan wasn't giving to both of them sitting there? Come on now. Come on. The Roman Catholic the men, the Pope, the Roman Catholic, the Pope, if you find out he was the main one, would make sure they switched this stuff. That right there shows you there was another problem. They are making it, look how and no one even questioned it. No one even said anything. No one even, listen to what it says. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food and that it was pleasant to the eyes and the tree to desire to be made one wise, she took of the fruit thereof and did eat. Now, taking fruit and eating it, that means you're taking it from the outer and putting it in the inner, okay? And did eat and gave unto her husband with her, and he did taking it and eating it. What happened to the mind in which they were supposed to be entertaining Satan? The thoughts of what Satan was saying, the thoughts, they were entertaining him. And then it tells you the husband was with her. So both of them was right there. Y'all never thought of it, did you? Right there is showing you a problem. Just like when Eve said, he says not to even touch. The father didn't say that to Adam. So where did Eve get it from? See, y'all, you can see the hand of man and how it smeared everything. And in the process of it, that same smear is living today in the hearts of men. They have lied. So the father say, watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell y'all, I don't know. I know it's going to be horrible. It's going to be horrible what he's going to do. He's going to do it. And it's already, even today, they have added some numbers already. You remember Eddie Long? T.D. Jakes? All of these people have been involved with little boys and young girls. Always. Why did do you really believe that Kirk Franklin was really, let me say if that's it, Art Kelly, not Kirk Franklin, Art Kelly was really doing what he saw heathens and Gentiles doing? No, it's what he saw his own people doing. And it was like, if they can get away with it, look, let me get me a bunch of young girls and get away with it. See, y'all don't think like that. It's so much that Judith blames the heathens and Gentiles. We cannot blame them for that which is not of them and they are doing. All of this stuff that we coming up with is a whole bunch of lies that we're adding on to the liar, because a lot of us are the father of the children of the liar, the father of lies. A lot of us are children of the fathers of lies, okay? Now, Art Kelly only did that with them young girls because he saw it taking place. When he was a little boy, he saw it. The father was sharing with me Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx, he said, went to many of Diddy's parties and many others. He knew to get out of that if he knew he didn't want to be a partaker in it. It didn't stop him from attending. He knew what they were doing. Every last one of them parties Diddy had. Why did everybody show up knowing what was going on? Diddy had opened it up so wide so you could see. And all these people were there. And even those right now talking about what Diddy did and how he did this, how he did that. Do you know the Father is going to hold the blood on them as well as Diddy? Did y'all know that? I know y'all don't. But I want to send a message out to the Hebrew Israelites, these melanated men. Father's holding you liable too. Let's go there. Romans chapter 1. Because people who are of the Spirit and born of the Spirit, they talks against this stuff. Not now. Supposed to be real Jews. Not now melanated man came up that said they the Hebrew Israelite to talk against this nonsense. Way back. Even though it was going. Don't think they didn't know. The father said they've been in these kids' house. They've been knowing because so many of them been involved in it. They don't want none of the men in Judah want to talk about it. In Romans chapter 1 and verse 32, who knowing the judgment of Yah, that they which commit such thing are worthy of death. Knowing the judgment of Yah. Watch this here. That they commit such thing are worthy of death. Not only do the same, but have pleasure in them that do them. Yah's letting you know you already been crossed out. That's sad. You already crossed out and don't even know it. So if you thinking, I'm telling y'all, melanated men and women, if you thinking that this is the house of Israel and he's sending finna come get you, no, he's only taking the spiritual Israel out of Israel. You know how he was in Egypt? The whole house of Israel stayed their tails in the promised land. And he took out what? The children. Like unto this one. So I tell y'all right now, collect all the food. I ain't gonna tell y'all, collect your food. Collect your seeds. You better grow. You better get your cattle. You better get everything you need. Because you ain't going nowhere. I am the prophet in the wilderness. And you are not going nowhere. Because you all have supported so much wrongdoing. To the Father is causing the world to bring your darkness to light. He's using the world. And after he's using the world to bring your darkness, he's going to let the world judge you on the earth. Wow. Now, he went on to telling me about Will Smith. He say, now you know, you talked to somebody about 17 years ago, or maybe longer, about Will Smith and Jada. They're in that Satanism mess. And they doing all kind of freaky stuff. I knew that way back, y'all. I knew that way back. He said Will Smith was doing it when he was a little boy. Will Smith also molested his son. That's why he didn't have no problem getting on nationwide TV, kissing him in his mouth, embarrassing him in front of nationwide television 2 or 3 times. Nobody said nothing. Men ain't got nothing to say about it. That's what I'm saying. The father say the reason why they don't have nothing to say about it, because they themselves has been in the dark closet, just like Will Smith. The father said it was what happened to him before he even met Jada. Before he even met Jada, he was already like that. He said he came to her and was with her. He brought this with his marriage. And you hear these 2 funny looking men, that's what they call themselves Too Strong. And they got a page. And I sit back and watch how they talk about men. The dark skinned one is the main one. The other kind of lighter skinned man, he don't talk as much as the dark skin. But the dark skinned man, he ain't dark. He's a little darker than I am. He talks about women being the fault of me, of all these men. You know what they still doing? What Adam did in the garden? That woman. And the father say, if y'all women ain't woke up to see that today, started back then, trying to justify their wrongdoing. And the only way they can justify it, the only way they can clarify it, the only way they can identify it, if they can blame grandma, mama, sister, women. That's the only way they can get out of it. And that's how these men been doing this all this time. These men would tell you it's because of Jada Smith, his wife, is the why he doing this. The father said use a lie from a worse than hell. He said use a lie. This man was like this before he met his wife. And by you okaying it, instead of saying this man needs to stop or we need to bring this to the light, we need to chop him down, he said you too are going to be judged and measured. So get your suitcase packed and be ready. Diddy He said Diddy, same way. A lot of that Diddy was doing way back. Way back. Now they saying that Tupac was involved in it too. I don't know about that, but I'm just giving you what he has given me. But they said Tupac. So Diddy, when you have done it for so long and it become the norm, you don't think that your crap stink. You know how you go to the toilet and use it? When men is like this here, like Pastor Dow, he don't think his crap stink. He think he don't get away with anything and everything he want. But he just don't even. His towel's coming down. And I can't say no more about that. All I know is that it's already set for the day. Okay? That day. Okay? So Diddy, he said, same way. The first thing they said, Chastity, I think that's her name, Chastity. First thing the men was burning her up. He shouldn't have settled so quick. He shouldn't have settled with her, because the moment he settled with her, then all this other stuff, everybody else started saying he did this, it's because he settled with her. Now listen how low down that is. The Father brought the darkness to the surface. And guess what? The men are still saying that woman. Now the sin is so deep. What did I say to y'all in the last 2 years? I said, what did I say? Our black men, now tell me if I didn't say it. Our black men is in the closet, out of the closet, under the bed. I used to say it all the time. Every time I get on here, I used to say it. Because this is what the Spirit had already shown me. I already seen it, y'all. Y'all ain't seen it, but I've seen it. But when I see it come to bed, I said, there you go. And that's what he was asking me. You don't see it? He was wanting me to see how his judgment is pulling their tails up. The Father wanted me to also let you know that life is not black and white. While we're looking over here blaming the heathens and Gentiles, our own nation is cutting up from the floor greater or worser or alike unto the sin of the heathens and Gentiles. So how is it that this one is wrong, but this one is right? How is it that this one doing this to us and this doing you ain't? He said you been up and you been down. And such a day as this, the last thing you want to do is call unrighteous, evil, wicked, unjust. Call that thing what it is. Oh no, these women, they supporting that mess too. These women supporting it too. Because it's no way they should have a platform and none of this stuff shouldn't have been talked about. That's why I was telling you, because they so busy trying to cover the issues of the world to get their brownie marks, they likes and they subscribers and they support. And they praise, especially they praise to where they sitting here talking about the world and they don't understand, can't nothing outbeat the world of their own nation. You see? Because and the Father looking at them saying, well, how are you going to talk about what the heathen Gentiles doing? Wait a minute. He said, tell them again, Deborah, life is not black and white. So while we as a people down here allowing our sons and daughters and all our men and our women do all these things, and we trying to justify, clarify, and identify, oh, he coming for us. Y'all sick. You sick. And then he was going on and say, well, did he? They blamed the girl when he first paid her off. You should have seen them brothers getting mad at that lady, Chastity, because she took him to court. I want to let y'all understand one thing. The reason why the lady took Diddy to court is she could not be free until she is able to take him to court. Okay? What y'all did not understand, what she had on Diddy goes beyond the other lady who had a book out on Diddy to tell you all the things he was doing. That book she had can't even outweigh what this young lady had on Diddy. I met a lady in Georgia when I first moved there. And I really knew I was in for a whammy when I went to Georgia. The Father sent me there on a mission. And this lady, she was so nice. And she was just a sweet person. And she was some type of reporter or something. She used to do something like news work or something like that. And she was telling me she got down there. I said, you ain't got no family here? She had no family there. And me and her traded numbers. We got to talk. And she said she was a prophetess. And I kept on telling her, how are you a prophetess? How are you a prophetess? And I kept saying that I already knew she wasn't. And even though she came up with a lot of how would I say, a lot of truth in a lot of things, I knew I was able to discern. It just something about her I was discerning. And more we became friends, guess what I learned? She had got hooked up with this guy here there in Georgia. And she had no idea. She fell in love with him. She had no idea that he had been putting stuff in her drink, and she fallen asleep. And next thing you know, she wake up. She know she went to sleep. She don't know what's going on. She said it happened to her several times. And she just trusts this man. He bought her. She said he bought her. He was wealthy. Not wealthy, but she said he had a nice place, nice cars. He had a nice house. He had a entertainment system down in the lower level where him and his friends and everybody meet. And all that time he was taking pictures of her. She saw a picture, several pictures on one of the tapes where they had a gun in her private area. Yes. And she said right then she lost it and ain't never been the same. She said she got out of there and never returned. He never knew that she saw those videos that he had of her. And she said that it was very hard for her. But that's what I was trying to explain to you about this lady with Diddy. She got some dirt on him. Enough to show him in there doing that sort of stuff. See, y'all don't know. Y'all think y'all know something. Y'all don't know nothing. And don't ever estimate that these men on these platforms know what they talking about. They don't, baby. The Father say the tribe of Judah is gone. Not only are they gone, they're not going to come out of Israel. They're not going to come out of Babylon nor out of the four corners. They're not coming out. So I used to always wonder, well, why is he saying that he's going to destroy the men and the mighty men in the war? Because they're going to be fighting right here in this land and in the land on the four corners. They're going to fight to the end and they're going to die quickly. That's why they got all these migrants coming in, because Revelation 18 said it's going to be a residence of demonic, unclean birds. That means at its worst. So y'all don't know that they went to every country and got the worst of the worst and brought them to your country. They'll be in your land, in your neighborhood real soon. I heard them white people say they already been in their neighborhood stealing stuff out of their cars, in their house. That stuff is real. This country did that. They have, in the last year and a half, no, I think they said 2 years, they brought in 5 million. And then I just heard in this state where I'm at, they just brought in 12 buses. You see, they're going to put them in each state, especially in the areas of where you are. So guess what? You're going to have some new friends. So you took out all that time, the 400 years. We passed the 400 years, and you all never thought, well, wait a minute, y'all. Why ain't we gotten anything together? Why ain't we did anything? Because you wasn't nobody like you think you were. So go on and continue. So you better get ready. Get you some seeds and start planting them and grow you some food and get your water, get everything. You start stocking up, y'all. You're going to be left right here. Okay? So he was telling me that Diddy, the melanated men was against Cassidy, I think that's her name, that filed that against Diddy. They was pissed off. This one went to the projects, cursing and trying to get killed down at the projects. They shot him. At least he pretend they shot him. And the other big brother, the other men, they started chewing him out because he was mad that Cassidy had got all that money from Diddy, and then this other man that raped him didn't get anything. So he mad at Cassidy that Diddy paid off. But y'all, if y'all knew what that girl have on Diddy, y'all would shut y'all ugly mouths. If she showed the world what he had, they will lock him up and throw away the key in the Mississippi River and never open that door up for him again. That's what that woman had on him that made him pay. Y'all just ain't got no sense. None whatsoever. So same thing with Will Smith. They come talking about Will Smith caught Jada with this guy and he beat her real bad and she got some dirt on Will. She ain't got no dirt on Will Smith. You's alive from the pit of hell. That man been dipping in that mess when that, what's that a movie he made? House Party, I think it was. House Party, Party House, or whatever he did. He been in that stuff. Y'all need to stop all this lying. The Father said these spirits didn't come up out of these men. Since they had money, the money helped them feel that they can do more and more and get away with more and more. Jay-Z. Jay-Z is, I would say, is one of the highest level ones. He's one of the highest level one that also do the same thing. He's connected to when they have that big party. They go out in the woods with the blue eyes, blonde hair, and all them little bitty babies, and they go and do all them things with the elites. Oh yeah, oh yeah. He attend those. Okay, so it's the same thing. Okay, 50 Cent. Keep your eyes out. He's going to get in trouble too. Somebody going to come up and charge him. He ain't getting away with nothing because too long have the Father steered him. The Father has tried to steer him to do what's right. He never wanted to do what's right. He wanted to gang bang and then blame everything on his mother that was a dope, a mother that was on dope and that she was a prostitute. Everything is always the women. If you had to say something about Jay-Z, all you're going to hear is Beyonce. She did this. It's because of Beyonce. She did this. She did. It's always the woman. And the Father says, all because of Adam set the pace is what you see today. Okay? Blaming woman. So 50 Cent, he said, he always talking about his mother, how she used to be a prostitute and how she was on drugs, you know, and how he started selling drugs. So everything was mama. Well, what was your daddy? You see what I'm saying? It's always mama. It's mama, women, always. Wife, they got to switch. Will Smith, the Father said, sad that they thinking Jaden. Jaden had all this darkness with her. But Will had more darkness than Jaden. But look how these men are bashing Jada. Even when she tried to bring out her book, they bashed her big time. And still bashing her because the choice Will made. And ever since all this came out, talking about Will and Puff Daddy, Will is booming. Y'all didn't know that, did you? Because LBG want him to come out and admit that he go both. I mean, he gay. And and then this one guy said, but see, Jada be messed up if he come out. Then she can't hold him liable. Can't hold that over his head. Just stupid, ignorant men. That man been doing that mess with little boys since he was a little boy himself. So stop lying. That don't have nothing to do with Jada. Jada is just there taking the heat to cover him up. Stop lying. That's all the men do. Dwayne Wade. The Father said Will Smith turned his son out. Okay, that's why his son like he is. Same way with Wade Smith. Dwayne Wade. Look how the men marvel over him playing basketball and everything. That man been messing with little boys for the longest. That's how his son decided to turn out to be a woman, because he turned him out and even into the groups that he used to go to. The parties like Will Smith and Biddy and them used to go to. Y'all, they've been doing this for a long time. Now they said Tupac was in it. That's how long they've been doing it. Do you hear me, women out there? They have made fools out of y'all. And y'all have made fools out of yourself. Thinking these men was all that. And they were all, and what's his name? Lil Wayne. He was into it too. Because a few years ago, he was in nationwide television. Kissing. And rolling up on younger boys. Nationwide television. Not a man in the tribe of Judah, as they call themselves, never said nothing about it. And nothing said nothing about none of these men. You don't even hear them talking about them now. That just shows you, because the Father say they are a part of it. Because if they talk about them, then they be talking about themselves. Okay? So he went on to talk about Dwayne Wade. He said that man been in that stuff since he was a child. That's why he marveled off his son, even though he had his son too. You see? So while y'all running around here, women, putting these men on a pedestal, calling them kings, leaders, and rulers, how are you asking for something like that? The 40 years, the 400 years is over and it's past that. And how are you thinking that you're going to get a righteous man? Dwayne, I think his name is Dwayne Wade. First thing everybody blame is Gabby. When I say everybody, men. They blame Gabby. That's what she get. They ain't talking about what he doing. Didn't I tell y'all a year ago? They in the closet. I said, the tribe of Judah, 80% of them, they in the closet, under the closet. And the father, here he is, bringing all that mess to the surface. He gonna judge it. He's gonna bring it up. Bam! And he's gonna judge it. And you gonna start seeing them. And then here go the women. They mess with our men. They blaming our men. Baby, you falling with the ship too. So how about that? You ain't getting up out of here. You gonna fall in with them. Okay? So Dwayne Wade, he been in that stuff. Before he even married, he been in it. And that's why I say to y'all want to blame the heathens and Gentiles. They been in it too, but they been on their side in it. You see? But we would turn around and blame them for the way our men are. You see? And the father say, let them blame whatever. That's why it's going to all come to the surface. And then it's all going to set on fire. The father going to let it set itself on fire. Jamie Foxx, he ain't have no business getting involved with Diddy and them. But he did. He went to all them freaky parties too. The moment he went into this hospital, who do they blame? His daughter. Oh, she said this. She said that. She's lying. His daughter this. His daughter that. It was all making her ugly because Jamie Foxx was in the hospital and nobody heard from him. So they blamed his daughter. That was off the chain when they were doing her like that. So it went on to R. Kelly. I see why R. Kelly chose to do it because he seen his own kind doing it. So he assumed that me messing with little girls ain't bad. If they messing with little boys and girls, I'm cool. As long as I got some, girl, I'm good. That's why he jumped in it. You see how they got him down. The father was showing me the prison. In the prison, I used to work in maximum, minimum, and prison. And what they're doing now is when your men go into prison, say you got a son, you got an uncle or a brother or a cousin, male, when they go into prison, baby, I'm going to tell you something. They rear end going to get told out. I mean, these men are messing these men rear ends out. They are tearing their tails up the soonest it used to be a time if you commit murder or if you buff and you tough or you known. Now they don't care. They don't care. Why? Because it's gone. And then when these men get out of there, now they come out and try to act like they macho and really they rear end and got ate out. Now they go in the family with a woman. Now they hating on her and mad at her because they now know that they was raped while they were in there. And this is why I said, be careful talking about a man being the head, the leader, the ruler. Don't y'all get into this mess. We got a head. It's Hamashiach, Christ. That's our head. They need to seek ye the kingdom. First and foremost. Stop getting around here thinking you want a man in the bed. Don't care about who they are, what they done been through, or what they going through mentally, just wanting them. That's why a lot of them doing what they doing, and a lot of y'all don't even know that. A lot of these men going in these houses, killing their kids, their wife, and their children. These are men that went in jail and went in there, and they come out, they gone. What would make a man, I guess it's the same as when make a father, a grandfather, a uncle, a neighbor, rape the little boys in the household. So while y'all run around here saying in these households, oh, no, these women broke up the house and it had to do with food stamps and getting on system. You see how sick that is? These men went in this household raping their sons and their daughters. Y'all didn't even know that. But y'all knew it all the time. They've been doing what you see today. They've been doing that. That's why I was locked in on Solomon and Gomorrah. Then when you go to Judges chapter 19, read it again. It was happening in Judges. It's always been going on, y'all. And the men always sold their daughters over for sex. When they came to the Lot's house to have sex with those two men that came in, that the father had sent as angels to bring Lot family out, it says that they were surrounding the whole house, y'all. So you had to have had 200 probably men outside. They said it's young and old. And they was out there. So the angels wanted to go out there to walk among the city. But Lot was begging them not to, because he knew what these people, how these mindsets of these people work. Do you know that why would the father go to Abraham and tell him what he was going to do? It wasn't about just Lot. It wasn't that Lot was all innocent and righteous, but he was connected to the heart of Abraham. You see, that's the only reason. You see, because it came out with them. It still came out. He destroyed it, but what did he do? The father don't have to get no okay from Abraham. Because Abraham, let me tell you something, y'all. Somewhere along the line, those people was detached to Abraham. It wasn't just Lot. Because Abraham said, what if it's 20? What if it's 10? Would you still? Why are you concerned if they ain't your family, if they ain't your people? See, y'all bent. Y'all don't think. Y'all don't think. He didn't have to check with Abraham to do what he was going to do. He was doing it because he knew that those people were some of Abraham's people. So when you sit around here and talk about this book is about you, yes, it is. Yes, it is. Let that ruach cut it up in you so you can get it right and stop running around here lying. Okay? That same thing in the book of Judges, chapter 19. Read that story, y'all. In the book of Judges, the Levite king that was no longer a king was traveling with his serviceman. He was going to get his, I think I'm pronouncing it, concubine. She had left him. And she had played the harlot or whatever they said, but she had left to go with her father. He couldn't even leave her with her father, y'all. Her father wanted her back home. Because she was like property to him. She was like property to him. You see? It wasn't that she was a woman the way Yah created her in Genesis 1. But no, she's my property. She's like cattle. She has no right. She has no nothing. That is not the way the Father created it. But because man pinned it out that way, that's why these women are the way that they are today. It's because the men has set this pace all this time out of the Father's order. He said, Deborah, when it's up, they'll say down. When it's down, they'll say up. When it's left, if I say left, they'll say right. If I say right, they'll say left. They won't follow none of my word at all. That's why you can't read this book and think you can master it because you read it. So the Father was telling me about Solomon and Gomorrah. And then listen to what Lot said. Let me show you how out of order Lot was. And a lot of you all don't understand. This is where you know that the Roman Catholic played a role in this. Because man's mind been sick since the beginning of time. Okay? And the Father didn't stop their mind from being this wicked and evil. Listen to what Lot said. In the book of Genesis, I think was that Genesis chapter 19? Listen to what Lot said to the men that were wanting to have sex with the two angels that came in. Listen, all the men that was out there that was homosexual, they wanted to have sex. What could you do? If it's 100 and 200 of you all out there, what can two men do for you? All of y'all, what can you get out of all that? Y'all, sisters, brothers, y'all gone. Listen to this. They surrounding the house, meaning in the back, on the side. Great numbers, young men and old. Telling Lot to bring them men out so we can have them. Sexual. It didn't say women. These were men. What could all these men do with these two men? Same thing they doing in the prison. Tearing them up. Tearing them inside out. A lot of men have already been done like that. And then they go into these relationship with these women. These women bringing these men in the house with their children and their daughters and their son, and wondering why he come in and killed the whole family. Why? Y'all don't know what you're getting involved in. See, why they running around here talking about, let me tell you what they said. They running around here talking about, now listen to this very careful. Listen to this very careful. These men running around here talking about a woman that if the woman didn't have sex with these men, every last one of them men has changed and alternate her and changed it. That's why her mood swings are so messed up. Want me to tell you why they lying? The power of a period that the Father gave a woman was to flush anything within 30 days. So how in the rat's behind could a woman have a man a year ago and still have his stuff invested in her body? But let me help you out a little bit, men. Because he gave her a period, that's what it was for. To flush her system of everything in it. That's how powerful the blood was and is. And that's why she had to be put away for 7 days, not coming around nobody. Because the Father knew he put the power in this blood for her cycle to where she's not supposed to be nowhere but alone. Alone. Don't come out. Take them 7 days, don't come out. Why? Because it's a system that the Father created in a woman that cleans her whole inside out every month. So why in the rats behind y'all ignorant women believe all this nasty-minded men? So let me help you out a little bit. Here we go. Now, when these men are having men, guess what? They are ejaculating sperms into their rectum. You know what sperms is? Blood. And where do they go? Think. Into their intestines. These sperms are live. Where is their period to flush their rectum out? Where's your period at? Wait a minute, hold up. That's why all these men are walking around here with this sugar in them, trying to have a wife and children, out here with wives and children and got sugar in them. That's why. Because they got the man's blood, other man's DNA in their bodies, y'all. Because they didn't have a system like the Father gave woman to flush their rectum out. So they got all these men's sperms, which is blood, living all up in them. And they walking around here trying to make you be king, make you think that they are the kings and leader of your household. This is why all this killing is going on. All these mood swings are in these men. Y'all ain't noticed that, women? Sister Deborah been telling y'all for 2 years. You don't see all this stuff that's on the news? That's what's going on. They got all these personalities and killing for no reason. All this stuff is what has to do with this. Men coming out of prison, they got their rectum tore in and out. All kind of bodies, blood, sperms up in them and then traveled into their bodies. Y'all didn't even know that, did you? A lot of y'all don't know nothing about that. That rectum don't have something to flush it out. And that rectum leads to a place. And them sperms shooting up in there, you think where they gonna go? It has to be flushed with the blood. So these men, you see how they go? You see how they are gone. So when you run around here wondering why they got a hate for women, this is why. Because so many different men have been injected up in them. Or sex. And injected up in them. And they go on with their wives and their children go on. This is what's wrong. This is what's causing this a lot of this stuff, this chaos. All these killings and stuff. Y'all don't even pay attention to it. They don't have no sympathy. Kill mama, so what? Kill daddy, so what? Kill wife, so what? Kill children, so what? Kill my brother, so what? Kill my friend, so what? This is what's going on, y'all. And y'all miss it every time. Men are having sex with men, ruining the whole household. And you thinking you got a man. Tell me I got a king, leader, and ruler. Shut y'all ugly mouth, women. Run around here giving these men positions. And they out here killing like crazy and doing all this stuff. And you call it. So listen to what Lot did. Here go Lot. In Genesis chapter 19 and verse 5, and they called unto Lot and said unto him, where are the men which came in to thee this night? Bring them out to us so we can know them. They're going to rape them. They want to rape them. Just think now, y'all, this is back in Genesis, the first book. This is the mindset of the men, y'all. Women, do you hear me? They want already. And it says young men and old. I mean, they had some young boys out there surrounding this whole house just to get them two men. What could these two men do for y'all? All of y'all out there. Same thing these men is doing in the world today. Same thing. They don't care if these men don't care if they got 10 different men in 1 week. All they look for is that feeling. They don't give a rat's behind women. All they looking for is that feeling. All those sperms is all up in their rectums. All up in their system. So while you sitting here lying to these ignorant, dumb, silly women about having 2 or 3 men, 4 or 5 men, and that men is in them, see, they lied to y'all women. That's what that period was for. That's what the period was for. That's why you had to stay away from everybody for 7 days, because that period was a powerful tool that the Father put in your womb to clean your wound all the way out. It is to destroy everything up in there. Same way, if a man is with a man and they having sex in the rectum, where is his cleaning tool? Where is his creation that God has given him to flush all that out? He don't have them. Even his maneuver couldn't even flush it out. It's went on shooting in them sperms all the way to the system. And that's why it's good that they start to twitch and they start to get real thin. And women just don't care as long as they got a penis in the bed with them. That's sad. So the Father was showing me, even with Eddie Murphy, his wife, she announced she had to leave because he had all kind of freaky things going on with men. It's all then just look at this, y'all. Now the basketball players and the football players, they're all involved in it too. That's what they're doing now. And y'all women running around here trying to make them kings, leaders, and rulers. Their fathers already messed up the household. They went and did it to their children, their daughters, their sons, as 3-year-old, 4-year-old, 5-year-old, and then it flipped all on to another 4 generation. Then it flipped to another one. This is what you see today. It never ceased. And we talking about this book. But listen to what I want you to hear what he did. Lot. This is why I tell y'all, be careful listening to these people. I ain't gonna say be careful. You do what you want. Listen to whoever you want. When I get to the book of Lot, when I get to Genesis 19, and I'm hearing Lot say to these men after they say, bring out those men so we can have sex with them. This is what Lot said. And Lot went out the door unto them and shut the door behind him. And he said, I pray you, brethren, do not such wickedness, do not such wickedly. Now, why is Lot telling all these men who want to have sex with these angels, don't do this because it's wicked? I pray you don't do this because this is wicked. But watch what he said. Behold, now I have 2 daughters, which have not had a man, which have not known a man. That's verse 8. Genesis chapter 19 and verse 8. Let me, I pray ye, bring them out unto you, and do ye as to them as is good in your own eyes. Until only these men do not, for I therefore came they under my shadow of my roof. Now, He's telling these men that's out here who want to have sex in Sodom and Gomorrah, in Sodom. They want the two men that came in his house. Lot is telling them, here, take my two daughters, they virgins. Do what you please. Do whatever you want to do that's good to you. You see what I'm saying? See, women, y'all been wrong all these years. We in the day. And look what is Sister Deborah is teaching. See, the pastors, the bishops, the apostles, the seers, the watchmen, the teachers, the prophets, the priests, none of them taught this. None of them in my 63 years have I heard. Ever. You know why? Too much spirit and truth rest in it. Because the question would be, why would a father want to hand his daughters to all the men to rape them? I told y'all that was the mindset of the men when sin hit, just as it is today and was yesterday. Now, it's not, someone tell me, it's not Genesis 19 Torah. Is that a part of Torah? Matter of fact, isn't that the beginning of Torah too? You see what was going on? And they try to erase everything and tell you, like in Torah, we need to follow Torah. Follow your tail somewhere and sit down with that demonic mess in your mindset. Talking about following Torah. If you don't follow the Most High Yah in spirit and truth, his Ruach that leads you, don't let these people tell you follow no Torah. Tell them, take your tail over to Torah, because this is what was going on in Torah. Now, let's look at Judge. That's what Lot did. Lot did that in the book of Judge, not too far from Genesis 19. The book of Judge, verse 19. Now, watch what this here man tell these men. These Benjamites in the city wanted to have sex with the Levi and his servant man. And he had a concubine with him. He gave them the concubine because they told him they wanted the men that came in town. But the man of the house turned around and told them, let me get it for you. Let me get it for you. Let me get it for you. Behold, here it is. And this is the old man of the house. Listen to this. Behold, here is my daughter, a maid, and the Levi's concubine. Them I will bring out now, and humble ye them, and do with them what seem good unto you. Now they're going to rape these women. What seem good. That's why I told you. Evil is good and good is evil. You got to watch out how you sling that word good. Okay? And he's sending them out. But unto these men, do not so veil a thing. So it was evil for them to want the men. Even though that was a town, Benjamite. There was a town that was all hooked up on homosexual. But it was wrong for them to want the two men that came in your house. So you're going to give them your daughter, which is a virgin, and the man, the Levi concubine. They threw the concubine out there. And they raped her and killed her. That's what they were going to do to the men at Lot's. That's what they're going to do to the men here in Judge. Why? Y'all don't know the severity of the sick mind when a man wants to have sex with a man. That's how bad it has always been. It didn't just start today, y'all. This is what was going on in these homes where they say the women went on welfare and food stamps and put them out so they couldn't have, the government didn't want us to have in our house. These men were doing these 6 acts. They'll do these 6 acts, these things, and they drink and drug, go into their own house with their babies and allow other people to go in their house. And I heard even the pastors and the bishops were allowing their young boys and their young daughters to be there at the house so other church pastors can come in and rape them. Y'all, this been going on for a long time. I'm going to tell y'all, the tribe of Judah is in more trouble. Let me hear what I say. The tribe of Judah is in more trouble than the heathens and Gentiles. They don't even know it. They have no idea that that's why the house of Israel, he's only taking a small remnant out. You stay in here. That's how much trouble you in. And what's happening, you all, in Isaiah 3:25, he tells you he's going to kill the men. Women, he tells you, I'm going to kill your men. He tells you that. But no, not mine. That my husband. He rides. He just, okay, you go right ahead. Keep playing. Because if you're going to kill him, he's going to kill you too. And then on top of put the icing on the cake, the lake of fire will be waiting for the both of you. How about that? How about that? Okay. So see, this man did the same thing with his daughter and the concubine. And then he wanted to fight the city of Benjamin and cut the concubine into pieces and sent them to every king of every tribe in the house of Israel. And then they start warring against Benjamites, the city of Benjamin. I'm like saying, now see that? Of the Benjamite. This is Israel. Fight! Who is Benjamite? They are the house of Israel. See, y'all don't think this homosexual started. It started from your nation. This is your book. This is your book. Claim that. But the father was saying, when the people go into the prisons, he said men 1,000% of the time are raped. And they tear their rectum up. Okay. Did y'all hear about the one that just died last month? He was a nice looking white boy. I think he was 23. And he also had a baby. His wife had just had a baby, I think 3 or 4 months prior to him getting out. And I think he had something like a few days before he get out. They tore his tail up. They tore that back end up. Pulled him up into the hospital. He died. They tore him up so bad. And guess how they tore him up? They chained his wrist and his feet. See, they couldn't get him because he wasn't going to allow it. But somewhere along another, they said, before you leaving, we didn't know you was leaving. Oh, let's get him now. And they raped that boy so bad, they killed him. He had nerve taken to the hospital and told his father, he committed suicide. They did the autopsy. Wait a minute. What's all these bruises in his hand, around his wrist? Why it look like somebody cut off his circulation and his wrist is torn up? Why is his foot, down there his foot tied up? Skin broke because somebody had him tied up. Why has he got all these knots in his head? Why has he got cigarette burns all over his body? Didn't make no sense. But they told the system, the warden told him that he committed suicide. The autopsy said, nope, he didn't commit suicide. But he was definitely raped so many times. Just imagine a man having to do an autopsy on a young man, 23, to find out that he'd been raped and his rectum is just tore up. And all these bruises and torment. They said they tormented him. Nice looking, I'm going to tell you something, he was a nice looking young white boy. And you would have never, to me, he didn't look like a person that was in the prison. He had 2 children. But when you going in there, the men don't care nothing about you. All they want to do is stick their thing. That's the mindset. That was in the homes that broke up the homes. Negroes, that's how the homes got broke up. Stop lying. Y'all been raping these little boys and these little girls in these households, going to household, and household. Use a rolling stone, dropping your seed everywhere. And the Father gonna you're gonna stand before the Most High, and he's gonna send you directly to hell because you didn't know your seeds were your talents. And you left them up in the rectum of men. So he's saying, this is what the Holy Quran stated. The Holy Quran stated that they lust after men instead of women. That's in the Holy Quran. See, y'all don't want to tell the truth about it. If the Holy Quran can say if that is in the Holy, that's what it says. If it's in there, what does that say? This has been a long time ago, y'all. They've been doing this. That's why in the other countries, over there, Iran or Iraq, Arabia, or whatever, they want the women to be dressed on down. And that's why I tell y'all, I don't want, you ain't finna tie my head down. If I want to tie my head, I tie it down. If I don't, I wear it any way I want. If I want to wear pants, I'm going to wear pants. How about that? How about that? Okay? If I want to eat pork, I'm going to eat pork. How about that? How about that? I don't like pork, no way. I don't eat it, but I'm just saying. Don't come telling me what I can and I cannot do while all of you all are doing wicked and evil and then trying to tame me into some type of righteous. What's the question? What's the problem, Deborah? Tell them again. What's the topic? Life is not black and white. Stop making a life what you are on the outside. What are you in the inside? That's what's messing people up. So women, when they run around here and tell you that a woman that has more men and it had more men, 5 or 6 men, the men are still left in you. That's a lie from the pit of hell. Tell them the power punch of the Father's right hand gave a woman a cycle that defeat everything in her for 7 days. Ask them what's going up in their rectum. How's that being clinked out? It can't be, ladies. That's why these men are going around with all these demonic spirits and wicked and evil. And what do? That woman, like Adam said, blaming the woman. How is it the woman when you don't have a flushing system, a blood flushing system in your rectum to clean you out when you sitting around here sleeping with these men? To hear the stories of our black homes, in our black home, men and women, in our black homes, these kids were raped, molested, destroyed before they even became a teenager or an adult. And then you expected the black household to be okay. Oh, what you gonna say? The heathens did it? Use a lie from the pit of hell. You can find it 3 times. Jeremiah, Ezekiel, and Isaiah, where the Father said all these things, y'all was doing it in the promised land. So you can't blame the heathens and Gentiles. See, that's where he says, Deborah, life is not black and white. See, they want to make it about them. We the people, we the this, they did this, they did this, they forgot. It ain't that they forgot, they just don't give a rat's behind that where you are is a part of my judgment on you. And you ain't seen nothing yet. I'm going to open this here up to where they're going to find out so much about how our black men have been a demon out of hell all this time. And our women running behind them. That's why he says, silly women, ladder with sin. You would have to be ladder with sin to be following these men today. And what they teaching, what they preaching, what they trying to lead you, how they trying to guide you. They trying to curse the book. They trying to curse any and everything. They come in, they teach it one way, come back a year or 2 later, teaching it a total different way. Because they lost with the cause and without. So I, Sister Deborah, hope that you got something out of it. But the Father wanted you to understand this book, like they say, if this book is, let me see if this verse is important to you. If this book is about your history, the Father said you need to stop lying on that history. But he said you don't have no other choice. That's what he said to me. As I'm turning this page, he said they don't have no other choice but to lie. Because spirit and truth come through the Ruach HaKodesh. And they don't have it. I said they have to find life. These melanated people ain't gonna find life because they're so busy trying to find death. They enjoy death over life. Okay? Let me see what he's saying here in Luke chapter 17. In Luke chapter 17 and verse 25. Let me see what he's saying. Luke chapter 17 and verse 26. Luke chapter 17, verse 26 and 27 and 28. I'm not going to go that far down. And it says in 26 of Luke 17, and as it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be in the days of the Son of Man. Verse 27, they did eat, they drank, they married wives. Right there where it says they married wives, the Father wants you to understand what Yeshua is saying. He's speaking of men. He's trying to get you all to see how the men are cutting up from the floor. But see, the women won't do that. Because the men tell you to shut up and you're not supposed to speak. And your stupid tail believes it. And that's why y'all can't use you. Y'all will never use you when you let man abuse you. Yah will never use you if you let man abuse you. Because what? What's the name of this topic? Life is not black and white. If it's not black and white, it's not male nor female. Hallelujah. You see? That's what he's saying. So they got us hooked that it's all about males. But life is not male nor female. It was given to Adam as well as Eve. Adam got a spirit, Eve got a spirit. Adam got the breath of life, Eve got the breath of life. And then it told you every human being that come into the earth receive the breath of life in the image of Yah. Where along the line does that have a color? Huh? Where's the color? Where's the nationality? Where's the race? Where's the denomination? Where's all that stuff that y'all sit there and built this whole world on? A bunch of lies. Where is it at? Life isn't black and white. That means it's not a male or female. So if y'all gonna speak, he gonna speak. Male or female. No, it don't matter. Why? Because he's speaking spirit and truth. So it don't matter what your flesh say, whether you're a man or a woman. What your flesh say? When Yah give you, he's giving you out of your spirit because his spirit rests in you. So why is it that only his spirit rests in men? Come on now. Oh, and only in the Hebrew Israelites? The melanated men? Come on now. The only reason why the Messiah came through you is because the Father knew you was the worst of the worst on the earth. And he brought a Messiah to come get the ones that got lost and leave your trash here. See, the Messiah wasn't coming for nothing but the lost. And it was a loss of, here go the people. He was coming in to get the lost and take them out. See, y'all lost. Y'all messed up on the floor, just as it was in the days of Egypt. He didn't come to get he got the whole house, brought him to the wilderness, and took what he wanted to the promised land. See, y'all think y'all rule this thing. Y'all think y'all know something. Y'all don't know nothing. And y'all long ways from home. And it says right in Luke chapter 17 and 28, likewise also as it was in the days of Lot. They did eat, they drank, they bought, they sold, they plant, and they built. I'm scared of that. I'm scared of that. Why are they planting? Why are they building? Did not they get destroyed? See, y'all don't read. Y'all don't comprehend it in the spirit realm. It didn't matter they was building. It didn't matter they were planting, drinking. That's what Pastor Dow do. Fornication, committing adultery. And what? He came and destroyed them right in the midst of all of what they were doing. They thought they were doing something. Just like today. Same way. But I want to say to you, I'm out, but I just want to leave a word with you that the Father said to me, keep beholding what he's doing to the melanated men on this earth. He said, keep watching. Yeah, they can kill of their women. Because if y'all knew women and men that's out here, the mindset that is in your nation of men, you'll understand a little bit better. But because you don't, you hung up on its spirit. It's a spirit of wickedness that is supporting all of these men in their wrongdoing. Too many men and too many women coming up talking about their daddy, their granddaddy. Some of them are saying their mother, but 99.9 are saying their men, their uncles, and all of them raped them. They did this. Don't you know that lives with you the rest of your life till you in the grave? And nobody talks about nothing. And this is why your men are doing what they doing, and they've been doing it for a long time. But the judgment of Yah is pulling them out. And I just thank him for it. So Isaiah